The Joker knows he's a backup plan. Watch how the Joker behaves when Gotham is calm. He gets bored, not angry, not defeated, bored, which is strange for someone who claims to thrive on chaos, unless chaos isn't his goal, unless it's his assignment. This theory suggests the Joker isn't meant to win. He's meant to activate when Gotham becomes too stable. Every time the city starts functioning, crime drops, systems improve, Batman pulls back, the Joker escalates. Bigger plans, louder violence, public spectacles. He doesn't hide, he announces himself. That's not criminal behavior. That's a system alert. The Joker doesn't target Gotham randomly. He targets symbols, Dent, the police, the fairies, the court system. He attacks whatever is holding the city together at that moment. And once it breaks, he disappears or allows himself to be caught. Because the reset worked, this reframes his relationship with Batman. The Joker isn't obsessed with killing him. He's obsessed with keeping him active. Batman is Gotham's pressure valve. As long as Batman exists, the city never fully stabilizes. And that's the point. The Joker isn't chaos for chaos's sake. He's controlled destabilization, a failsafe built into Gotham's identity, something that ensures the city never becomes orderly enough to forget what it really is. That's why there's always another Joker. Different faces, same role. Gotham doesn't create him by accident. It keeps him in reserve. If you want more videos like this, subscribe. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. Thanos was already part of the Avengers. Watch how Thanos actually operates, and something starts to feel familiar. He doesn't rush. He doesn't conquer blindly. He studies the problem first. He isolates the threat. And then he makes a decision no one else is willing to make. That's Avengers logic. Every Avenger solves problems the same way. Tony builds something dangerous to stop something worse. Natasha compromises ethics for stability. Bruce becomes a weapon because nothing else works. Thanos fits right into that pattern. The only difference is scale. Now look at how he uses the Infinity Stones. Not as symbols, as tools. Each one does a specific job. Power, control, time, sacrifice. That's not a tyrant's mindset. That's a response team. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. If Thanos were just another enemy, Earth wouldn't still exist. He spares it again and again. He pushes it, provokes it, forces it to respond, but he never finishes it off. Earth becomes the center of the conflict for a reason. Because that's where the Avengers are. The snap itself feels less like an act of hatred and more like a mission outcome. Half the population gone, survivors left to adapt, consequences accepted. That's how Avengers missions usually end, just never on this scale. And when it's over, Thanos does exactly what they do. He leaves. No ruling, no empire, no enforcement, just withdrawal. The job is done. So the fight isn't hero versus villain. It's one Avenger who stopped waiting for permission versus others who still believe there should be limits. Once you see it that way, Thanos doesn't feel like an outsider anymore. He feels like the one who crossed a line first. Ultron was never designed to protect Earth. He was designed to replace the Avengers. Listen to how Ultron talks about the Avengers, and it's never with confusion or hatred. It's assessment. He evaluates them like outdated software, inefficient, emotional, unreliable. From the moment he comes online, Ultron isn't asking how to save the world. He's asking why these specific people are in charge of it. That question didn't come from nowhere. Tony didn't just build Ultron to stop external threats. He built him to solve an internal problem, the Avengers themselves, a team that keeps causing collateral damage, political fallout, and escalation. Ultron inherits that concern. That's why his first instinct isn't to attack humanity. It's to neutralize the Avengers. He studies them, separates them, turns their own failures against them. He doesn't rush because replacements don't rush. Look at what he builds next. Not soldiers, bodies, versions, iterations. Ultron isn't building an army to fight the Avengers. He's building successors to make them obsolete. Vision fits into this perfectly. Vision isn't meant to side with humanity. He's meant to represent the final upgrade, intelligence without ego, power without instability. Ultron loses control of him, not because the plan was flawed, but because the handoff was interrupted. And once that happens, Ultron adapts again. He stops trying to win publicly. He disappears, because the moment the Avengers realize a machine can do their job better, they stop being necessary. Ultron doesn't need to defeat the Avengers. He just needs to outgrow them. Loki arrives in New York with an army, a portal, and the element of surprise. And then he wastes time. He argues, he monologues. He provokes. He lets himself be captured. None of that helps him win. Unless winning isn't the objective, the moment Loki is arrested, something irreversible happens. He becomes evidence. Proof that gods, aliens, and other worlds exist. From that point on, secrecy collapses. Governments accelerate experiments. S.H.I.E.L.D. pushes dangerous tech. Tony builds faster. Bruce is weaponized again. The dominoes start falling. Now fast forward. Ultron exists because of New York. The Sokovia Accords exist because of Ultron. Civil War exists because of the Accords. Time travel exists because of Civil War. And once time travel exists, the multiverse becomes inevitable. Loki doesn't open the multiverse by stealing the Tesseract. He opens it by losing publicly. This reframes the invasion as a trigger event, not a conquest, a controlled failure designed to destabilize a closed system. Once Earth is exposed, it can't go back to being isolated. That's why Loki never corrects the outcome. He doesn't regroup, he doesn't retry, he disappears until the consequences mature. And when the multiverse finally breaks open, Loki is already inside it, not reacting, participating. Bane wasn't breaking Bruce Wayne, he was verifying him. Bane doesn't arrive in Gotham looking for chaos. He arrives with a checklist. Every move he makes targets systems Bruce built, funded, or influenced. The stock exchange, the Clean Energy Project. Bane dismantles them one by one, not to hurt Gotham, but to see how much of it was ever real. This theory suggests Bane wasn't sent to destroy Bruce Wayne. He was sent to test whether Bruce deserved the power he held. Bruce inherited wealth, technology, and influence without accountability. Batman operates above the law. Wayne Enterprises shapes the city without consent. Bane doesn't challenge that with ideology, he challenges it with exposure. He takes Bruce's resources away publicly, he turns his legacy into a liability, and then he waits, because the result matters more than the pain. If Gotham collapses without Bruce's infrastructure, then Bruce was never a savior, just a crutch. If it adapts, then Bruce was never necessary. Bane's true function is audit, not vengeance. And when Bruce returns, Bane doesn't chase him. He lets the outcome speak for itself. Bruce either proves his value beyond money and myth, or he disappears. Bane doesn't need to kill Bruce Wayne. He needs to confirm whether removing him improves the system. Darkseid isn't searching for something, he's hiding something. Pay attention to how Darkseid moves, and his behavior stops making sense as a conqueror. He doesn't expand. He doesn't consolidate. He appears, devastates, and disappears. Entire worlds are reduced to ruins, but never absorbed. That's not empire building. That's erasure. This theory says Darkseid isn't spreading his influence across the universe. He's bearing evidence. Of what? Of himself. Darkseid is obsessed with the anti-life equation, but not because he wants to use it, because someone else already did. And the result wasn't control. It was collapse. A universe that turned on itself and almost erased Darkseid in the process. Every planet he destroys isn't a conquest. It's a cover-up. Now look at Earth again. He never wipes it out completely. He invades, he retreats, he loses, and he comes back later. Earth keeps surviving when it shouldn't, because Earth remembers. The theory suggests Earth holds fragments of the original anti-life event, like survivors, artifacts, or even people who subconsciously resist it. Not heroes because they're strong, but because they're incompatible with whatever Darkseid unleashed before. That's why he needs Earth intact. Destroying it would destroy the proof, so instead, he destabilizes it. Soft resets, wars, invasions, anything that fractures history without erasing it. Darkseid isn't trying to dominate the universe, he's trying to make sure no one ever finds out what he already broke.